I feel like my talent was good enough, and it should have been. And so, you know, you would have people that would offer me to go on this major tour and open up, or, you know, just do all these different projects and everything. And then once they found out that I wasn't interested in doing additional things, you know, then it started becoming a problem.
So you wasn't trying to compromise your soul?
Nope.
And I mean, there's a lot of women that are in the industry or even trying to get into the industry that end up falling and lowering their values to get in that door.
Absolutely.
Were you around some?
Yeah, I know a lot of people that, you know, they did what they had to do. I mean, now they big stars, you know, sometimes I be like, why couldn't I be like that chick? But that's not me. That's not me. It's just not.
What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to the Value TV show, the show where we give you tools to build and have healthy relationships. That's right, tools to build and have healthy relationships. I am Jamel Jackson, your relationship mechanic, and I'm just in this woman empowerment vein. So the last episode and this episode, I'm just feeling like empowering women. So I got this dope artist, philanthropist, singer, actor, entertainer, creator, everything under the sun on the show today. I got Miss Butta B Rocka.
How you doing?
What's good?
Man, I'm just blessed and grateful to be here.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling really good.
Yeah. And you know, every month I'm choosing someone to highlight that is impacting the world with the, the gifts that God has packaged inside of them. And this month is Butta B Rocka. You know what I'm saying? So without me, I don't want to mess it up. Let the people know, what are you doing out here?
Well, I am an international recording artist. I am also a podcast host. I'm on 7 syndicated stations overseas with 1.2 million listeners. I'm a film director and producer and actress. And I have 2 books. And I became an Amazon bestseller in 7 hours of my first release.
In 7 hours? Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. She doesn't know it, but she's going to be singing a little something before this episode is over. And we're not just going to slide past the books like that. What's the title of the book?
One is called Fear of Failure, Fear of Not Trying. And the other is a children's book. It's a play off of my last music video. So it's called The Adventures in Butta Land, Overcoming Fear and Doubt.
So we know you do music, the singing, acting, film directing, all that, etc.
All right.
The fear of failure, did that start when you were young?
It did. It started when I got into a car accident. I had 2 deals on the table, one with Sony and one with Warner Brothers. And I was headed to my attorney's office and got into a car accident that left me drinking from a straw for 6 months. Before then, I was working with a lot of major recording artists who are Grammy winners and doing big, big things. After my car accident, they kind of shifted. Like their careers blew up and mine, stayed stagnant or whatever. And it took me a long time to come back out. After a year, I went back to Warner Brothers, and they had revamped, and Sony had just signed a young lady that was my age. So I go to the 3rd label, and they tell me that I'm basically too old. Now, I'm 19 at this time, right?
How old are you now?
45.
You 45? Okay. Black don't crack.
No, it don't.
Unless you're smoking it.
No, it don't.
Don't smoke it. It's the drug-free zone.
Right. So what happened is, went to the 3rd label that wanted to sign me, and they basically told me that I was too old. And at that time, they were signing the Britney Spears, the 12 to 13-year-olds. So here I am, just turned 19. Just like, oh my God, I didn't fail. You feel some type of way. And then I go to my friends that I used to do demos with and backgrounds and shows with, that now their careers have blown up, and they kind of started treating me differently. I became it almost felt like I was begging them to put me on when I was already on with you, type thing. Yeah. And so what happens is that gets into your subconscious, and it starts making you doubt yourself. And you start saying, okay, now I don't have the labels are not behind me. And now my friends who are doing these things and are now in a position to help me aren't helping me. It must be me. you know. And so that really started to resonate with me, and I started thinking, well, maybe I am too old, 19, maybe this, maybe that, you know. And so it got into, you know, my subconscious and whatever. But there was a moment where I had an aha moment, and I had to realize you can't let someone else determine your fate, you know, and your value and everything. And once that clicked in my head, it was like, okay, it's on.
So during that time, like from the straw, drinking out the straw, to feeling this rejection from some of your peers that you were once rubbing shoulders with,
Right.
this happens in the entertainment business.
It does.
And I'm specifically asking this question for women that are listening or watching, because sometimes they lean to this side. So I want to know, did this happen with you? Did you start involving yourself with with drugs or anything?
No, I didn't do drugs.
Okay.
No, we didn't do no drugs. I just went into.
And here's the thing. I'm not saying everybody that's in there, but
Yeah.
I know it happens.
Yeah, it does happen.
Some
I do
people
know
are in that
people that-
position. Some women get in that position,
Yep.
going to be this great artist,
Yep.
film director, actor, entertainer, and that happens, and it's like, you know, their life starts to take the different course for a coping mechanism.
Absolutely.
What was it that kept you rooted and grounded?
My kids. Well, I didn't have kids then. I didn't have kids at 19. So what kept me initially when it first happened, I went into a depression for a couple of years, right? And I started doing backgrounds in the studio, TLC and a couple other people. So that kept me still in the mix, but not in the mix. You know what I mean? So I kept myself grounded and I kept myself busy. So I didn't get onto the drugs scene. And then I ended up getting married, kids, started working a corporate job and everything. And I was still going back and forth to the studio.
How long, you still married?
I just got remarried.
Oh, well, how long was the previous marriage?
The previous marriage was 14 years.
13 years, 14? How many kids you got?
2.
2? Do they sing?
Yes.
Okay.
My youngest son is 19. He is a singer, drums, music, actor, all that. Yeah, he do everything.
Just remarried. Congratulations.
Yep, June 18th. Thank you.
June 18th?
Yep.
Okay. What's your boo name?
Terrence.
Shout out to Terrence. What's good, Terrence?
Shout out to Terrence.
Terrence holding you down.
Yes, he is.
Did it hurt?
What?
The divorce?
Yes, definitely. You don't get married to get divorced. I mean, I don't know nobody to say, I'm going to get married so I can get a divorce. You know, that's not what you do. You get married thinking that it's going to work. What happened with me is in 2007, I decided to bet on myself, you know, and I left corporate. And my husband was supportive. My ex-husband at the time, he was very supportive and everything. And I started getting calls to go overseas. I had been getting calls, but one of my friends, Akon, used to say, this is not for women, because this industry is real fickle and everything. And you got a family. I don't know if this is really what you should do full time. So that always was in the back of my head, and I was a little nervous on going out there. Well, I got an offer for Africa that I couldn't refuse, that gave me, you know, basically everything that I needed. And so my ex-husband was like, you should take this one. This one makes sense. Plus he could come over, you could bring people over. It was like really good situation. So I decided to do that, but what happened is, just like Akon said, it does destroy your family. And some infidelities on his side started happening, and we just started drifting apart. The more I'm gone, you know, and then he finally came over to Africa, and when I knew that we was in a rocky space, it was a New Year's Eve. And you know, even when you're off stage, you're still on stage.
Yeah.
When you're in the room, you still got to be Butta, you know, you can't have an off moment. So it's New Year's Eve, it's tons of people there. We just got off stage. Now we're mixing and mingling with everybody, and they are giving you drinks and you come over and talk to us, you know, that type of stuff. And in Africa, it's disrespectful to not accept their drinks and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm laughing, I'm smiling, I'm taking pictures, the whole 9 yards. I'm introducing him to people, and he said, you smile at one more guy, we're gonna have a problem. And that was the first time I saw that he got jealous, and that it started becoming a problem for us. Yeah.
So we're not going to dwell too much on the marriage, though.
Okay.
But that's interesting. Like, you're a woman in this entertainment space, and like you said, Akon was saying, "Hey, this ain't a woman's game
Yeah.
per se. You know, like did you feel like throughout your career that you had to fight and battle to make yourself known or to prove yourself in that per se man's world?
Yes, because what I found is like when I would go to the studio, like a lot of people, and ain't nothing wrong with this. If this is what you want to do, is what you want to do. But I wasn't one that was willing to, like, I didn't want to have to sleep with you to get in the studio. I feel like my talent was good enough, and it should have been. And so, you know, you would have people that would offer me to go on this major tour and open up, or, you know, just do all these different projects and everything. And then once they found out that I wasn't interested in doing additional things, you know, then it started becoming a problem.
So you wasn't trying to compromise your soul.
Nope.
And I mean, there's a lot of women that are in the industry or even trying to get into the industry that end up falling and lowering their values to get in that door.
Absolutely.
Were you around some?
Yeah, I know a lot of people that, you know, they did what they had to do. I mean, now they big stars, you know, sometimes I'd be like, why couldn't I be like that chick? But that's not me. That's not me. It's just not. So I've had to, you know, maneuver my way other routes. Okay, if I can't get in this way, then there's plenty of other ways that you can get in. And, you know, so I didn't get the major deal, but I have literally, since 2007, toured the world.
Wow.
Yeah, and have worked with a lot of people from demos to studio to performances, from Akon, TLC, Janet Jackson, Kanye West, I mean, Collective Soul, some more people, Lil Zane,
You ever
Nas.
you ever work with Jamel?
No,
Okay.
not yet. Not yet.
Listen, I'm hearing what you're saying. What kept you grounded? What kept you stable as you're like, you know, you're going through these challenges, you're trying to go this way, you're going through this door, you're going this. What was your stability, your inward fortitude that was like, you know what, I'm not giving up. I know this door is being shut and I see this person getting in and this woman's doing that to get in and I'm here, but I know I need to be there or I'm going to be there. Like, what was that?
It was really my family, my support system that was telling me to keep going. You know, one thing that I think was a blessing for me, it was like, you know, although that door closed, because I chose to go a different route, that door opened up. And so I think if that door didn't open up, I probably would have been like, oh my goodness, like, okay, like for real, what am I about to do? You know, but because, you know, I tried another route and that route worked and I made myself open, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you can get stagnant. I can tell you that recently, 2019, I dislocated my shoulder, torn meniscus, torn ACL, right? And I've been doing music full time since 2007. That's been paying every bill, right? Me and my kids, we've been straight. And I mean touring. So 2019, I had this surgery and they can't tell me until I wake up or until they are physically inside of my knee how long the recovery time is going to be. So it's going to either be 6 weeks or it's going to be a year. I can't find this out until I wake up from being drugged and having the surgery, right? So I wake up to them saying, yeah, it's a year. It was either going to be a partial tear or a full tear, but they can't see it on the x-ray machines or on the MRI or whatever. So I woke up to them saying that, and it was like, you now have to figure out what else you're going to do. At that point, music was the only thing I had ever thought about, you know? When that happened and I injured myself, I had to make myself become open to other possibilities. You know, I'm very creative. I'm a songwriter and singer, obviously, but it was like, okay, what else can I do? Yeah. And so I performed in Bahamas for the Prime Minister, and they had a guest speaker, and he said, write your story, right? Now, I've had a lot of people say that. And I always would say, well, who's going to want to read my story? You know, I don't even know how to write a story. I never even wrote a book, you know, that type of stuff. And so it just seemed like that day. Now, it was a room full of people, but it felt like he was only speaking to me and I was the only person in this room. And I heard it, you know, just clear, write your story. So I went. 3 days later, I had to go to Hawaii for a show, and I was a guest entertainer on a cruise ship. And so there was a big hurricane, and we ended up staying an additional 5 days. Well, for 4 of those days, I locked myself in a room. I wrote my book. And then when I came home, I did the did the cover and, had to get it edited and all that type of stuff. And when I put out my pre-release of it, 7 hours of my pre-release, I became an Amazon bestseller and best new release.
Wow, look at God.
But that's being open.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, had I not injured myself, sometimes we look at setbacks as something that's bad.
Mm-hmm.
But in my situation, it forced me to have to look at other things, So, yeah.
Now, you wrote this book,
Mm-hmm.
becoming an Amazon bestseller in a short period of time. What did that do to your confidence then? Like, 'cause, you got all these other areas
Right.
and skills that I'm hearing about, from the acting to the
Right.
film directing.
Right.
Did that unleash, like, you know what, I'm going for it all?
That's my attitude now. It's if I can see it in my mind, I'm going for it. The worst thing that's going to happen is I'm not going to hit my mark, but I'm going to be 10 times farther than where I was. You know what I mean? So I go, when I say I go for everything, I go for everything that I can dream of. Why not?
How are you balancing that with, of course, you're a married woman,
Mm-hmm.
you have children, because there's women that are watching and listening, they're like, man, I don't know how she's doing all that. I barely got time for this, and I can't do this, and you writing a book, and I'm in that creative space.
Right.
Like, how are you balancing all of that?
What's so cool is I get, my kids, they grew up in the entertainment industry too, right? So, and then my new husband, he is a celebrity chef. He's a nutritionist and a fitness trainer, and he has his own spice lines, and he's an author. So it all matches. And my boys, during COVID, before COVID, we started a magazine for them called Defiant One's Teen Magazine. So in every room, somebody is doing some work. And then we have our days where we do no work and we just chill and be family. Yeah, but when I say every room, so I created, because, when you're an artist, you're on a budget, you gotta learn how to do stuff. So learn how to do graphics, learn how to do video and editing, and recording my own self, Logic and all this stuff. You learn how to do that type of stuff. Plus, I got a degree in computer information systems and in marketing and PR. So you learn some things, right?
Yeah.
So each room in our house, we're either doing commercials, we're doing ads, we're doing our podcast, we're doing magazines. Like, we work. Every last one of us.
So here's the question I have, right? Got Butta B Rocka as this representative of who?
Olethea Robinson.
Olethea Robinson. Was Olethea Robinson always, what should I say, moving towards this creative space since an early child, like
Yes.
an early little child?
Absolutely.
Like, were you like the one dancing up or dressing up and dancing for the family or singing for the family?
I was. Since the age of, that I can remember, since the age of 4, I thought I was Diana Ross and her family, her daughter, somebody, part of Diana Ross's crew. And I remember seeing her on TV, and I ran into my grandma's room. I went and got my little boa, went to the kitchen, got the little wooden spoon, started singing. And I promise you couldn't tell me that I wasn't going to be no star. And I have been saying that since I was 4. And they started putting me in talent shows, and we started just doing a lot of stuff. Of course, some things we would lose, but then I'll go home, study. And, I'm from the era of artist development and everything, and giving a show.
Yeah.
Like these new artists, some of them give shows. Some of them, they all right.
You got it.
Yeah.
Now, back then, you had to put in that work.
You had to
really know how to sing.
Yep, you had to know how to sing. You had to know how to dance. It was a full package, So that's what I'm used to. And when we would lose, I used to be in a group, and when we first started, you get tore up a little bit. You gotta learn, and then as you perfect your craft, you get better and better. So it kind of was like that.
Was your family involved with music? Like your mom, your grandma, your grandfather, anybody?
No, my cousin has a church, and my cousins all sung and everything. But my mom does not sing. My dad does not sing. But one thing my mom she was very supportive at an early age for me. And she always told me that I could do whatever I wanted to do. And she was my manager for a long time, her and AJ Alexander, who was also Usher's manager.
Okay.
Co-manager. So they used to manage me, and we used to work.
Where are you from?
I'm from Louisville,
Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Small town?
I don't know, because I left when I was 7 and I went to Tampa.
Okay. Why'd you do that?
I was 7, so my mom moved us.
Oh, your
to
mom
Tampa.
moved. Okay.
Right.
You weren't like a military baby, was you?
I wasn't. We went to Tampa, and then at age 15, I ended up moving here because we was working with Usher, and we was doing a lot of projects and everything. So we started moving. Ended up moving here, Usher and Bobby Brown's camp.
They got a camp here?
Back then.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you were
And it wasn't a camp, but it was his crew.
His crew. For a woman that's watching and listening, right? Because you're having some highlight moments, but I've rubbed shoulders with some women in the industry. You know, they might not be well-known artists, but they're trying to break through the door. But they're having these challenges. They want to settle. They want to say, you know what, I think I'm gonna cut corners and do the thing that I don't want to do so I can get through this door. Like, what would you tell that young lady or even that older woman? Because some are still, you know, different ages still trying to get in.
I say you do whatever's going to make you be able to sleep good at night. You know what I'm saying? For me,
even if it's doing dirty work.
I mean, some people do that. That's just not something that I would do. So however you can sleep good at night, if you're okay doing it, then you do it. But I wouldn't do it.
No, what would you advise them?
Oh, I would advise them not to do it. I would advise them to figure out another way. You know, you don't have to be the A-list celebrity. You can still do tours. I'm an independent international recording artist, and I've been able to break a lot of barriers that I never thought I could break.
You think somebody should get a BBL just to get on?
No, I don't. But I don't.
Because we live in the time of the BBL. Listen. I want to empower our beautiful, especially our beautiful black women.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's a huge thing now. People are literally, they're reinventing their whole entire self to fit in and get on and get the deal.
Yeah.
You're a beautiful black woman.
Thank you.
I want you to speak to them that are like listening or watching right to the camera. Like, do you feel that they need to transform their whole self to become something, to be a part of something?
No, I don't feel like any woman has to transform themselves. I don't think that you have to go get anything enhanced. I think that you're beautiful just the way you are. And if you're not surrounding yourself with the people that believe in you and your talents and in you in general, then that's not the right people that you want to be with anyway. You don't want nobody to change your sound. I mean, you have to be open, you know, when you're working with producers and when you're working with labels and everything, because they do have to have some input-ish. But you should never lose ground of who you are and what you stand for and what type of music you want to do. And I understand the easy route is to, you know, go in and fit in with the norm. That's the cop-out way. But figure out some more ways to do it. And there are other ways.
What was I going to say? I saw something, I think, on your webpage. You're doing something with youth? Mm-hmm. Talk about it. What is that?
I have a foundation called Artists Rock the Mic, and we throw concerts giving back to the college homeless students.
College homeless students?
College homeless students. Currently at Kennesaw State, there are over 1,100 college homeless students that are homeless. Yep. And I found this out. This lady, she was outside of one of my shows, and she was asking for some money. And she was telling me, please, you know, I really need some money. You know, I go to Kennesaw State, I got a scholarship. So that had me, you know, curious. So how you got a scholarship and you talking about you homeless, you know? You know, that really threw me off. And so what I found out was that you can have an academic or a athletic scholarship, but that doesn't mean it covers your room and board. And so found out she went to Kennesaw State. They have a program called the Care Center, and I started working with this lady named Marcy who's running that, and told her that I would like to help. I mean, I'm singing anyway, so why can't I use my voice to help somebody else? Yeah. Me and a lot of the artists at that time, it was like the Apache and the Cafe 290s used to be really big and everything, and we go there for the not drop mic, for the I just lost the word. We would go there and open mic, we would go there for the open mic and get up there and perform and have a good old time. So I took the same concept. I said, hey, you know, on the open mic, you typically do a song or two. And I said, I need y'all to do, and then they're my friends,
Yeah.
So I'm like, look, this is what I'm about to start. And I said, I need y'all to come and bless the mic. And so they started doing that. And then a lot of my national recording artists started coming. Tony Terry, a couple other people started coming through, and we just started having a good old time giving back.
Nice.
Then what happened is other companies that had nonprofits started coming to us. Well, can you help with Flint? So we sent over 1,000 cases of water to Flint, Michigan. We partnered up with Steve Harvey Morning Show. We partnered up with them for that. We sent shoes to Haiti. We've done books and gas cards and head wraps for the cancer patients to get them back and forth to their cancer treatments. And we gave them books and CDs, as they was going, so they could listen to the stuff, and scarves for their head and stuff.
Nice.
We started doing a lot of stuff.
That's powerful, man. That's what I'm see. She's not just out here singing and acting. She's actually out here doing the footwork too, giving back to the community. So everybody that's on the show, I forgot this from the last episode, but I didn't forget it this time. I give them a word, and you have to tell me what that word means to you and how it applies to your relationships.
Okay.
Okay? You ready?
I guess.
So the word is sober.
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 Give me a different word.
How you gonna tell me to give you a different word?
Because I can't think of nothing, and then I'm gonna be thinking too hard.
Now I gotta think of another word because I had this word planned.
So if I'm throwing off, then that's gonna make me throw. You know what I'm saying? Give me a different word.
Okay.
I think hard sometimes. Like even when I'm writing.
Transition.
Well, in my new relationship, I've had to learn how to transition. We both have learned how to transition and work with each other with everything that we're doing. You know what I mean? And transition is a powerful word because you have to be able to be open to different things, and you have to be comfortable transitioning. So.
I'm gonna let you slide with that little baby definition right there.
Let me slide with that one.
Listen, guys, if you're single, dating, or married, and you're looking for a place to get some tools to build and have healthy relationships, tune into the Value TV show. I am Jamel Jackson, your relationship mechanic. I had the awesome, amazing, powerful Butta B Rocka on the show. We out of here, man. Peace.
Peace.